Hello students, so we have already started the stator design and also we have seen how to select the number of stator slot. Okay, so let us move ahead to the theory. So it is good practice to use as many slots as economically possible. However, the number of slots per pole per phase should not be less than 2, otherwise leakage reactance becomes high. Okay, so we have one parameter to be considered, that is slot per pole per phase. Okay, so for a normal or most of the induction motor, generally we keep this value between 3 to 5. Okay, only 3 slot per pole per phase, minimum or maximum we can go up to 5. If machine is of very high rating, then in some case we can go up to 6. Otherwise, for most of the induction motor we take this value to be 3 to 5. Okay, and the slot pitch at the air gap surface for the open type of slot should be between 15 mm to 25 mm. So it is slot pitch. One more parameter, it is slot pitch. Slot pitch is nothing but the distance between center of the two slot, and it also have the minimum and maximum value, that is the 15 mm to 25 mm. Okay, so this is minimum and maximum values. Okay, so this is for open type of slot. If semi-closed type of a slot are there, then slot pitch may be even lesser than 15 mm. Okay, because its appearance is such that. Okay, so slot pitch, if you want to calculate, then for that we have one equation. Okay, the stator slot pitch. Okay, it is denoted by, let us say, y s g. G for a gap, s for a slot, y is for the length. Okay, so it is given by the gap surface. Gap surface is nothing but the periphery of that circle divided by total number of stator slots. Okay, so the entire periphery we can calculate by pi into d. D is the diameter, and total number of stator slot, let us say we denote as SG. Okay, SG stands for total number of a stator slot. Okay, so this can be the equation for the stator slot pitch. Okay, stator slot pitch is the distance between two respective slot, or distance between center of two adjacent slots. Okay, the total number of stator slot is also having one equation. Okay, we need to note down this equation and remember it, because we are going to solve one example based on these equations. Okay, so total number of stator conductor, it is given by 3 times 2 into T, or sometimes it is also written TG, the turns per phase. Okay, so it will become 6 into TG. Okay, so over here T is the turn per phase, that is the same T that you see in the EMF equation of induction machine. Okay, but what is the significance of these 3 and 2 to calculate the total number of stator conductor? So 3 is because of the phases. Okay, we are generally using 3 phases. Okay, so it includes conductor of all 3 phases. Okay, and what is 2? So 2 is because if any conductor is there, it is going through the slot and coming back to the slot. Okay, coming back to some another slot. Okay, so that is why it is having two paths. One is going, okay, after that it is going to run through the overhang and it will return to some another slot. Okay, so effectively it will have a two conductor inside the slot. Okay, if I draw the 3D view of the stator, then it something look like this. Okay, let us say we have a slots over here. Okay, I will draw a circle. Okay, and let us say this is the stator, okay, and one conductor is going through this slot, okay. So what it will do, it will run like this throughout the length, okay, then it will run and it will come back to some another slot, okay, and again it will go to some another slot. So the same conductor, what it is going, okay, throughout the stator it is going, it is counted as conductor number 1, and or effectively, okay, this is 1 ton, okay, this is 1 ton, okay, but the same conductor is going, okay, and it is coming back, okay. So that is why it is covering two paths, okay, that is why it is written as a 2, okay, and this thing happens in all the conductors of all 3 phases, okay. So 3 times 2 times turns per phase, okay, that is why we are taking it as a 6 times t, okay. So this is very important equation, you should note it down, okay. And from this we can write one more thing, that is conductor per stator slot, okay. So this is the total number of a conductor, okay. T is number of ton and 6t is number of conductors. So there is a difference between ton and conductor, okay. 1 ton is there, okay, but the conducting path is first and second, okay. So this is the difference between conductor and the ton, okay. So over here we are talking about the conductors per slot, okay. So conductor we have calculated like these from this equation, 6 times tg divided by the total slot, let us say it is sg. So 6 tg divided by sg, that can be our conductor per stator slot. So the number of conductors per slot must be an even integer number, okay, specifically for the double layer winding, okay. So we will see the thing in a detail in the example, okay. Now next thing is the area of a slot. It is area of a slot, okay. So when the number of conductors per slot has been obtained, and approximation, and the slot can be calculated from that, okay. So again I tell you this thing, we will see in a detail, that first we are going to make some approximation, and then after that from that approximated value we are going to make the accurate measurement for dimensions of our stator slot, okay. So approximate area we can find out by approximate area of each slot. It is given by copper area per slot divided by the space factor, okay. So copper area per slot, how do we calculate copper area per slot, okay. So for that we are going to need certain data, okay, that how do we calculate the copper area per slot, okay. So we have one simple equation for that, okay. It is Z times Sg into Ag, okay, where Z is the total number of the conductor, and A is the area of each conductor, okay. So number of total conductor and area of each, okay. So that is going to give me copper area per slot, okay. So inside slot how many conductors are there, and each conductor is having what area, okay. So that multiplication if I make, that will give me copper area per slot, okay, and divided by the space factor, okay. So space factor, okay, actually it is the thing from which we can calculate the approximate area of each slot, okay. So this is the area of a slot only, okay. And this is the calculation of a copper, okay. So if I draw one slot like this, So from this, okay, if copper area I talk about, then let us say only 4 conductors are there, okay, then this thing is called the area of a copper that is covered by your entire slot, okay. But what is going to be the area of entire slot? Area of entire slot, it will include this entire area, okay. But up to now what we have calculated, only the area of a copper inside this slot. If there are 4 conductors, okay, 4 conductors means Z, and each conductor is having certain area, then 4 times this area is the area covered by copper only, okay, and divided by space factor, okay. So this is one empirical formula. It means lot of experimentation has been done, and from that this equation has been derived and proven that it is true, okay. And the space factor value, it will vary from 0.24 to 0.4, okay. So if copper area is divided by 24 to 0.4, any value in between, that can give me the acceptable value of a area of a slot, okay. So the space factor vary from 0.24 to 0.4. High voltage machines have lower space factor due to large thickness of insulation. And after obtaining the area of a slot, the dimension of a slot should be adjusted, okay. The tooth width and the slot width at a gap surface should be approximately equal, so that it will look like this, okay. And the slot should not be too wide to give a thin tooth, okay. The flux density should also be considered. We know that its value, it should not exceed beyond 1.3 to 1.7 Tesla, okay. So flux density should also be taken into care, okay. The flux density inside this area of the core, okay. And after this, the final thing regarding the calculation of a stator, it is length of a mean turn. So what is length of a mean turn? What is length of a mean turn? Length of a mean turn. So the approximate length of a mean turn of a winding, okay, in the induction motor, okay, inside the stator, for the voltage up to 650 volt, okay, it can be calculated, okay. This is also one empirical formula for the induction motor up to voltage rating of 650 volt, okay. Empirical formula is this. It has been derived from lot of experimentation, okay, and proven that it is true for all the machine within the voltage rating of this value, okay. 2 times L, okay, that is capital L main dimension, plus 2.3 times tau, tau is the pole pitch, plus 0.24, one integer we are adding, okay. And whatever value is coming, okay, that we are going to convert it into meter, okay. And after that, whatever value is there, that we are going to consider for the calculation of a length of a mean turn, okay. Length of a mean turn means, see in this figure, okay, one turn has to be completed by one conductor. So when it complete one turn, okay, and finishes off, okay, then whatever length it is covering for making one turn, okay, that is called length of a mean turn, okay. Some of the conductor will be having longer path than these, okay. Some of the conductor may have the lesser path than these, okay. But because of this kind of a bundling of the conductor inside the stator slot, okay. But the average value of that will be considered as a length of a mean turn, okay. So we are going to have one ready-made equation that we are going to accept, okay. 2 times capital L plus 2.3 times pole pitch tau plus 0.24, okay, and convert it into meter. That is going to be your length of a mean turn, okay. So we are going to have one example based on that, okay. We are going to solve one example based on this. Okay, so here is the example. Determine the main dimension, turns per phase, number of slot, conductor cross section and slot area of 250 HP 3 phase 50 Hz 400 volt 1410 RPM slip ring induction motor. Assume B average is equal to 0.5 Tesla, AC is 30,000 AC per meter, efficiency is 90%, power factor 0.9, kW winding factor 0.955, current density 3.5 ampere per mm square. The slot space factor it will be always given in the example. Over here it is 0.4 and L by tau ratio it is 1.2. Okay, machine is delta connected. Okay, so first of all what we have to calculate, that is the main dimension. So we have seen examples on a calculation of a main dimension in which you are going to use the equation of the output equation you are going to use. Okay, output coefficient you have to calculate. After that the hint is given, it is L by tau is equal to 1.2. You are going to use this, and after that you can calculate capital D and capital L. Okay, so I am going to skip that part because that example we have already seen. But after calculation of a D and L, what are the things which we have to calculate, that calculation we are going to see over here. Okay, so I have already calculated this example. Okay, and the answers for D and L that you can do by yourself. Okay, but my answer are capital D is 0.395 meter and capital L is 0.375 meter. Okay, so after having D and L, okay, there are rest of the parameter we need to calculate, starting from turn per phase, number of slot, conductor cross section, slot area. Okay, all these things we need to calculate, and for that we are going to use the equation that we have just seen. Okay, so let us start with, okay, so the first useful equation for the calculation is phi p upon pi dl is equal to B average. Okay, this is the equation of a specific magnetic loading. Okay, over here one unknown is there that we are going to calculate, that is phi, because dl we have already calculated. Okay, so from this equation we can derive the value of a flux per pole. Okay, the equation will be B average into pi into D into L divided by P. Okay, if you put these values, okay, you will have this value 58.2 into 10 raised to minus 3 Weber, or simply it is equivalent to 0.05816 Weber precisely. Okay, first step is to calculate the value of a flux. Okay, after that we have one more important equation. Okay, to derive the value of a turns per phase. Okay, the first thing is the turns per phase. Okay, so it is the EMF equation. E is equal to 4.44 F phi T into winding factor kW. Okay, so in this equation only one unknown is there, that is T or Tg that I have written in the previous equation. Okay, rest of the thing are known. The voltage is given, frequency is given, flux we just have calculated, and winding factor is also given. Okay, so we need to put all those values. So turns per phase will be 400. Okay, because it is delta connected, so we are going to put it as 400 itself, divided by 4.44 into 50, that is frequency, into 0.05816, that is the value of flux, into winding factor 0.955. Okay, if you make this calculation you are going to have 32.4. Okay, so but it should be integer number. Okay, so we can take it as a 32 itself. Okay, so again this is one approximated value. Okay, still we are going to calculate the accurate number of t. Okay, this is the approximate value. Okay, and we are going to make some calculation based on this assumption. Okay, so let us take it as a 32. okay, as an integer number. Okay, so if you have t, you can calculate the total conductors. Okay, we have seen the equation, total conductor 6 times t. Okay, so it is nothing but 6 times 32 that we have calculated. It will be 192. Okay, it will be 192. Okay, so next thing we have to calculate is number of slot. It is number of slot. Okay, and what is the equation of a number of slot? It is pi into d, that is entire periphery, divided by the slot pitch. Okay, slot pitch ys. Okay, so capital D we have calculated. Okay, so entire periphery of the stator we can calculate it. Okay, and throughout this periphery, okay, what is the length of a one slot, or the distance between center of two adjacent slot, that is ys. Okay, so if you divide entire periphery by distance between two slots, you can calculate total number of slots. But what should be the value of a ys? Okay, so ys is not given. So in each and every example, you have to take two values of a slot pitch. Okay, slot pitch. Okay, the range we have already seen. It is minimum 15 mm to maximum 25 mm. So you are going to calculate number of slot considering the least value of a slot pitch, and you will calculate number of slot considering the maximum value of a slot pitch. Okay, and after that you will have two number, minimum number and maximum number of a slot. Okay, so let us do it. Okay, so pi into d divided by 15 mm. Okay, or if I convert it into meters, 0.015. Okay, or considering this value, I will have pi into d divided by 0.025. Okay, so if I put the value of d, okay, and calculate this value and this value, okay, then I will have the range of 50 or 84. Okay, I have written 50 over here, okay, and 84 over here, considering the minimum. Okay, minimum over here and maximum over here. Okay, because 84 corresponds to this and 50 corresponds to this. Okay, but minimum and maximum, this is the range of a number of a slot that you have to calculate. Okay, so whatever slot you decide, it should be between these two. Okay, so now it is up to designer what number of slot to be decided. This is not a final value, this is also not a final value. Okay, but one value between these two, it is going to be final. So how to finalize the number of slots? Okay, so for that we are going to use that rule, that slot per pole per phase, it should be between 3 to 5. It should be between 3 to 5. Okay, so we have option 3, 4 or 5. Okay, so what happens with 3, what happens with 4, and what happens with 5? Okay, so we already know the number of poles, okay, and number of phase. Okay, so if I take 3 slot per pole per phase, then what is going to be number? 3 times 4 pole times 3 phase. Okay, if I see this value, then what it will be? It will be 36. Okay, and 36 is not within this range. It means I cannot select 3. Okay, so I need to move to next value, that is 4. Okay, let us take 4 slot per pole per phase. So 4 times 4 pole into 3 phases. Okay, if I take this value, then what it will be? 48. So 48 is also not in this range. It means I cannot take 4 also, I cannot take 3 also. So I have one option, 5. Okay, so what will happen with 5? 5 times 4 pole into 3 phases. Okay, if I see, then I will have 60. Okay, yes, so 60 is within this range, it is between 50 and 84. So this can be my final value. I can select 60, okay, as a number of slots. Okay, so this is final. I have 60 slots. Okay, so total slots I have 60. Let us move further. Number of slots, 60. Okay, after that let us provide 3 conductors per slot. Okay, providing 3 conductors per slot. Okay, so if I provide 3 conductors per slot, then what are going to be the total conductors? Total conductors. Okay, number of slot 60 and 3 conductors in each slot, it is going to be 180. So why I have selected 3 conductors per slot? Okay, so that is one reason for that. Okay, previously I have calculated value of a 6 times t. Okay, in the example, if you see over here, if you see, okay, we have calculated 6 times t, that is 192. Okay, so I need to have the total number of conductor which should be as near as my approximated value 192. Okay, if I provide 4 conductor per slot, if I provide 6 conductor per slot, okay, this value is not going to be near to 192. Okay, even if I put 2, okay, then also the value is not going to be near to 192. Okay, that is why I have taken 3. Okay, so if you have a doubt that what value should I select initially, so you can start with 2. Okay, you can start with 2, 3, 4, you can put 6, you can put 8, you can put 9, and I am sure that within these values already any one value will be there for your machine, in which if you calculate this, it will be near to your approximated value of a 60. Okay, so for this particular example, okay, 3 is the number. Okay, 3 conductors per slot, but this doesn't mean in all the example you will get your correct answer by 3 only. Okay, it can be any value out of this. Okay, so you need to remember this. Okay, so what do we have? Total conductors. Okay, now total conductors I can calculate turns per phase. Turns per phase. Okay, so how do I calculate the turns per phase if I have total conductor? So the same equation. Okay, same equation 60. Okay, same equation 60 I can use. Okay, so what we are going to do, we have done this thing. Okay, the total conductor 6 times t we have calculated over here. Now we are going to do reverse of this. Okay, 192 was approximate value, we have accurate value 180, and now we are going to put this equation in reverse order to calculate t. Okay, so turns per phase is going to be, okay, total slot divided by 6. So 180 divided by 6. Okay, so over here like this, total slot, let us say it is this, okay, is equal to 60. I need to calculate t, so 6 will go over here. Okay, so 180 divided by 6, okay, turns per phase, that is going to be 30. Okay, so now this is my final value of t. So previously calculated value according to 192, it was nearly 32.4 or something. Okay, but my final value is 30. Okay, so this is how I need to calculate the final value of a turns per phase, 30. Okay, next thing is that we have to calculate the area of the conductor, total area of a slot, everything we need to calculate. So for that we are going to calculate current first. Okay, so how do I calculate current? I have one simple equation, current I is equal to kVA divided by 3 times V. Okay, so kVA, is it given? No, it is not given, so I need to calculate it. Okay, so HP is given, so HP 250 HP motor is there. I need to convert it into kilowatt, so 250 times 0.746, it will give me the value of kilowatt rating. Okay, I need to convert this kilowatt into kVA. Okay, so I will divide it by power factor 0.9. Okay, it is output, so I need to convert it into input, so again I will divide it by 0.9, that is efficiency. Okay, and V is there. Okay, so this entire equation corresponds to kVA only. Okay, still we have to divide kVA by 3 times V. Okay, so this entire thing, okay, HP times 0.746 divided by efficiency into power factor, it is kVA only. Okay, and 3 times V is over here. Okay, so 3 times 400 is already there. If I do this, okay, I will have the value of a current to be 192 ampere. Okay, it is the stator current, 192 ampere. Okay, now one data is already given, that is current density. So we have current density, we can calculate area of the conductor. Area of conductor is equal to 192 times the value of current density given, it is 3.5. so if I put this value, I will have 55 mm square of the value. Okay, it is the 55 mm square. Okay, now this is the area of only one conductor, but how many conductors I am using in one slot? It is 3. I have taken 3 conductors per slot. Okay, so total copper area, what it will be? Total copper area, okay, in each slot, it is going to be 3 times 55. Okay, or it is 165 mm square. So this is the only area of a copper inside the slot. Still this is not the area of the slot. Okay, I need to calculate area of the slot. Okay, so only this much area for copper only. So what about total area of slot? Okay, the equation we have seen, it is copper area divided by space factor. Space factor value is given. Okay, so 165 is the total copper area divided by 0.4 is given. If I divide it by 0.4, then I will have a final answer, 412.5 mm square. Okay, so this is how I can calculate the total area of the slot.